everybody, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the 6th season of the NASCAR Class C Maconi Fixed Series. This evening, we're excited to bring you top-sport action for the weekly strength of field race for the virtual Chicago Street Course. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including the top split for this series, Road to Pro, and Fast Fridays. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name's Justin Prince. Alongside the move once again is our Art Series racer Brayton Lester. DJ Line is working the controls as our producer. Brayton, we've seen road courses for these trucks in the past, but never really here at the Chicago Street Course, especially with its tight corners. With that in mind, what can we expect to see here tonight here at the Windy City?
This 12-turn 2.14 mile road course is like none other. We got more 90-degree turns than a rhombus, JP. It's going to be very difficult to navigate through traffic, very difficult to make passes, and very few opportunities to make moves.
And it's going to be an interesting one to see who's able to keep it clean, especially with the tight confines of the walls. A lot of potential for bottlenecks around this racetrack that's seen action in real life now for 2 years. It's originally coming through on iRacing. This is about the midway portion of the season, by the way, for the Maconi Fixed Series this season. And it's going to be an important one to think about potentially for standings, depending on what you think about for later in the standings. It's one of a couple road courses on the calendar. COTA is, mind you, on the calendar February the 24th. So these drivers are going to have a tight stretch of races here before they go back to the ovals from here on out. Now, keep in mind, Justin Patel comes into this week as the points leader over Dakota Lawn. Also in the 1,000-point club, Jalen Parker and Jonathan Tuckness. Jake O. Phillips and Zachary Mears amongst your top 6. Jeff Maconi coming off his first broadcasted top split victory last time out in 7th. Brian Macklin, Frank Horley, and Eli Carter amongst your top 10 for the point standings coming into tonight.
They're going to be fun watching these drivers try and navigate. You talked about drop weeks. Looking at the schedule, this is one of the tracks that drivers have circled. Hey, I'm not going to do so well here. I'm not going to score so many points here. Normally, there's a couple tracks in the schedule where to look at that super speedways and road courses and maybe some short tracks. And over half the schedule this season consists of these tracks you would look at as a drop week. So you got to go out and you got to perform at some of these tracks. And some drivers hoping for a good run here tonight.
Tonight's S.O.F, by the way, in the 2,500s, so it's one of the lower totals you'll see for the campaign here tonight. But that being said here, if you want to perform well at this racetrack, what comes to mind the most, especially when it comes to not just the tight confines that are referred to, but also knowing this is a racetrack where it could be difficult to pass?
Yeah, they're going to have drivers pretty spread out time-wise when we go through the starting grid in a couple seconds. We'll really see how spread apart this field is. But survival of the fittest. No cautions in tonight's 12-lap race. So if we get spun and lose 15 seconds, there is no making that up at any point tonight.
Drivers are finished up qualifying. 17 drivers per split for tonight's racing action. We're just about moments away from getting towards your starting grid here from the Windy City for what should be a quick one. 12-lapper here from Chicago. Drivers now looking to the starting grid as it is Talon Smith who will start on the pole by a 10th of a second over Andre Castro, driver with real-world experience here at this facility in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Cohen Brown will start in 3rd with Eli Carter in the 4th position. Then you have Chris Wentz, that's 1 second off the pole time. Andrew Sharp is in 6th. In 7th tonight, Ricky Paz start alongside Zach Zaldvar. Then you have David Bush III and Brian Smith will start in 10th.
Jack called Kirchhoff there in 11th. 4 seconds off quick time, and Jeffrey Maconi coming off last week's win. Slowest qualifier tonight. So talk about a change in reflection there, but 5 drivers will start behind him after not taking time. That includes Christopher Rodriguez, Greg Freeman, Isaac Kelly, Jeremy Chrisham, and Haynes Ratcliffe.
That's a look top to bottom of your running order tonight here from the Windy City as we get ready to go racing on the Chicago Street Course. Let's get ready to take a look at your Maconi Setup Shop race analysis for tonight. As touched upon here for tonight, going to be a 12-lapper. So very quick, very precise. You're talking potentially a race of, I'd say 15-20 minutes if you keep it clean. But also, no cautions, meaning you better keep it clean if you want to take the checkered in one piece.
A great look at the downtown Chicago. If you aren't familiar with this track, it literally takes place there in a park. You got all kinds of monuments around the East Congress Plaza Drive. It's right by the Art Institute, right by Millennium Park, right by Hutchinson Fields, and the Clarence F. Buckingham Memorial Fountain as well. So this track, beautiful scenery all around it, and a track that hopefully stays on the NASCAR calendar for years.
It is fairly warm, by the way, in terms of the track conditions. 88 degrees Fahrenheit is the track temperature of the streets. 67 is the air temp for tonight. The winds gusting at around 9 miles an hour to the northwest at the moment towards the bay. But these drivers have a full pace lap on their hands before they take the green flag here. First of all, what are your keys to a good road course race tonight?
A practice is going to make perfect here. There's a lot of drivers I've been watching throughout the week. Brian C. Smith starting 10th, one of them. He's known for his road course racing on the platform. Didn't get the greatest qualifying lap. He's going to have to work his way through the field. And part of having a good run here tonight is be able to make passes where you can. There's a lot of heavy braking opportunities and not a whole lot of heavy passing opportunities.
You choose one of your favorites potentially tonight, or underdogs should say, having to start from 10th. Who is your favorite to win this race?
Yeah, that could go with Brian C. Smith. Talked about him, but mentioned that qualifying lap wasn't the greatest. Got to make up a lot of time, but I'm going to go with the man in the front row. It's definitely a lot safer pick, and it's Andre Castro in the one. Between his railroad experience and his stellar qualifying performance, it's going to be hard to bet against the one truck here tonight.
It's going to be a fun one to say the very least. We still have half a pace lap before we get going here on the mind. Should be an interesting one to say the very least from top to the bottom. Again, be happy with us tonight here on iRacing social media platforms, Maconi Entertainment. So at this point here, in your opinion, where do you predict where these passing opportunities are going to come from tonight here on this racetrack?
Well, I'm going to be coming up right here. It's going to be turn number 7. This right-hander around or off East Baldo Drive on the East Congress Plaza Drive. It's a bit of a half roundabout, very difficult to navigate, but very easy to kind of do an inside-outside switch, get the run, get the momentum, and maybe make a pass going through turn 9 right here, right past this horse statue. It's going to be a great opportunity. Maybe get to the inside before you get to turn 10 and that sharp right-hander coming up at turn 11.
Just about ready to go here for tonight. The all-pink truck will be the one in command once we get to the start box. Castro alongside for this initial start to the race. Just 12 laps to sprint our way to the finish here from Chicago. iRacing pace car already flooring it to get away from the field as the rest of the pack heads to the start and finish line, already on the gas. Green flag is underway from Chicago. And a great start for your Pulse that are already single file, 2 by 2 behind them as the field tries to keep it clean and keep it out of the walls. A couple scrubbing the walls in the back, but the battle's on for third. Hit to the wall for Brown. Eli Carter jumps to third to start the race.
Carter with a deep dive there, like a deep dish pizza, moves into third, trying to chase down Andre Castro. Looking back here at the 11 truck, that's Greg Freeman trying to run down a couple of trucks, David Bush and Jeffrey Maconi. And one driver gets in the wall in front of him, that's Brian C. Smith. Trouble.
That's not good to start things off, to say the very least. Already causing a third pack. Already 3 different packs forming in the race. Let's see what happened here on the replay.
Around the right-hander here at turn 4, the short shoot, East Roosevelt Road. Just a bit of a bobble. Gets loosey-goosey and into the wall.
And that's really cost them some time here already. At least a quarter of the track behind the leaders. Some battling up the road. Andrew Sharp, he's trying to fight inside. A bit of contact. Saldivar able to hold on to it and drift his way into the spot. Nearly sent himself and does send himself to the corner though as the rest of the field checks out.
Saldivar hanging on for 3-4 corners there, makes the move in turn 10, loses the spot low in turn 12. There's Andrew Sharp working his way through. Ricky Paz in that green and red 15 truck looking outside now. Zaldivar for that position. This is the battle for 6, as they have allowed the top 5 to pull away. And that's the top 5, but Talon Smith, their leader, half second to Andre Castro, and then a second and a half to third place to Eli Carter.
First lap, relatively painless, as there goes Jeff Maconi going on a dive to the inside. This is for 9th. Got side by side, and we already know this next portion of the racetrack. Want to get single file. It is so tight at this part of the racetrack. If you try and go double wide, Maconi gets the give and take just barely to get the spot.
Making the move there on the 14 of Brian T. Smith, 2 wide, Greg Freeman and Isaac Shelley side by side behind him. Going down one of the short spreaders here on South Columbus Drive, trying to set for a passing opportunity around the fountain. Shelley looking deep.
Trying to take a hard cut to the inside. Switch back over the way of Freeman. A lot of side-by-side racing, a bit of a drip from the inside. Shelley able to keep more stable. Freeman just about knocked the wall down as they worked their way past the fountain. And already these drivers seem to be almost driving on eggshells to be able to work their way through these walls at the moment to avoid contact.
You got to be very easy on the throttle. The 03 of Maconi goes high and wide, upsets the truck. Brian T. Smith looked inside, wasn't able to get the spot. That allowed Shelley to close up to the both of them. Shelley now running a higher line, trying to get the drive off the corner as they come to complete the second lap. Not able to do so, but Brian T. Smith will take advantage of a bobble from Maconi and looking inside as they go into turn 1.
Yeah, but take a clean dive. Maconi a little bit unstable. Smith also unstable. And it seems like once you get to the top of the rev limiter, that's where a lot of these drivers are struggling right now. And it's really sparking the side-by-sides we're seeing and slip and slides.
Look at this battle back here. This is about the battle, I'd say, for 10th or so. A couple drivers in the 9th right there in front of them leading this pack. Ricky Paz and Zach Zaldivar. About 2 seconds in front of this group here. See that red and that green black truck in front of them. Meanwhile, look at the battle of 4th right here. That's Colin Brown all over the back bumper of Eli Carter.
Remember Carter making the pass on the first lap to be able to jump up to 3rd position. Just keeping himself quick right, able to work his way with no issues so far. These drivers near 3 seconds back to your race leaders.
And looking at their race leaders, if we can, Andre Castro has been the man to beat in the braking zone, but Talon Smith, that pink truck, your leader, has pulled away on corner exit every single time. Castro gets closer and closer off the back bumper through the first half of the track. But once you hit these longer straightaways on that second half by the fountain portion and half roundabout, Talon Smith pulls away.
Mentioned Castro experience here when it comes to racing in the Xfinity Series back in 2023. Actually went to university at UC Chicago. The University of Chicago alum so far doing a solid job to be able to keep Smith pressurized and keep things close up towards the front. Also with someone with experience with Team USA back with the Formula Fords at their festival back in the 2021 year.
That kind of made a name for himself being a road course racer, making some select starts in NASCAR, ran the Indy road course a couple years back as well. Now looking to make up some time going through the fountain turns here, turns 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Tap on the brakes, sharp right handle there. They're pretty much hammered down, not fully hammered down. You talk about using the playing with an egg under their foot here on the throttle, very much through that portion of the track, and another heavy braking zone. See how much Timmy Grubb's able to close up.
See Maconi still having some sliding. That's Shelley hitting the wall hard. A lot of conversation on the radio as Shelley getting close on damage. That was a tight call. And Shelley able to avoid significant damage, just left rear damage. Still sending it though.
Sends it deep. Maconi, no contact from Shelley, trying to avoid potential contact. Makes contact with the wall. That's a lot of contact.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a deep send. He initially sent it deep for one spot, now it goes for another. Wants 11th back from Greg Freeman. And these drivers back here, it's almost like a boxing match at this moment with how they're handling it back here. Not afraid to say, I'm not afraid to go side by side for several laps around these streets, but we're seeing a lot of people risking content like right there again on the fishtail.
Of note, the 7th place starter, Ricky Paz, I'm sorry, not Ricky Paz, Jeremy Chisholm, 16th place starter, has taken to the garage and parked for the evening, so he'll be your first DNF of the night.
Ricky Paz also did lose spots in the past lap. He spun from his spot. He's now back in 16th, well on his own, as the rest of the field still tries to sort itself out. Freeman backing up the corners. Just keep the space building. Shelley on that one.
Around Isaac Shelley goes, he's going to take it to the garage, spins from the 8th position, and he's going to leave the session as well.
You just see it coming. A tow for Shelley. He's now out of the race, our second DNF of the event.
I was working his way around the 11 truck of Greg Freeman, making a little bit of contact there. Talk about driving with an egg under your foot. You can't get on it too heavy on the gas pedal. They're going to spin the rear tires and around they're going to go. Exactly what you show here, striking the rear grip already. Going around turn 5 on the South Columbus Drive. See a spin at the very end of the straightaway. A heavy braking zone, trying to get as much as he can, and around the truck is just going to go, going into turn number 6.
Yeah, we've seen it so easy to do. Shelley has been a lot deeper on the brakes throughout the race. This time, doesn't help his case as he goes around inside a wall, says, I'm going the wrong way, and tows it immediately. Our second DNF just like that. Still 7 laps to go. Kirsanov, having some problems trying to defend at the moment, has already had a couple of bobbles as Maconi next to the train behind him, in front David Bush.
Yeah, Kirsanov there trying to defend Maconi. Also Rodriguez a part of that party. Ratcliffe as well. So you got a bit of a 4-car train right there. Big breathing room to Ricky Paz back there trying to recover from that spin. So this is why making a mistake is so crucial. Or not making a mistake. You make a mistake, you lose 5-6 seconds. That's 4, 5, 6 spots, depending on where you're at on the track.
By the way, Eli Carter still holding serve over Colin Brown. Brown looking very, very stable. Eli Carter backed up a fair bit that corner. Here comes the send. The crowbar goes out to the inside for Brown. And now it's going to be interesting if Brown's going to be able to try and make this pass comfortably, knowing how much we're starting to see these drivers really work the tires that have really come into play here, not able to stay side by side for a single file corner.
That Brown falls back there, gets in line with the Eli Carter in the 6, tries to get the run off of turn number 4. They're not quite able to get it. Going to lose some ground and going to have to recover, recoup, and resend it again.
But you can almost tell there's a difference in the driving style just by looking at the outside a little bit, can't you say, Brayton? Because you can tell it's a little bit more harder on the throttle for Carter. He's a little bit more squirrely through some of the corners. Then you have Brown, who's just trying to keep it straight shot into the corners.
Yeah, definitely a safe and versus sorry approach. You see the same thing with the first and second place drivers at Thomas with Andre Castro. Smith is hammered down on the corner exit and puts the power down on Andre Castro. A little bit softer, a little bit smoother on the throttle. Not quite burning his rears off, but he's losing time on exit. That's how he's been able to hang on to the lead. That's how Eli Carter's been able to hang on to third.
By the way, up front, still half a second the distance for the top two. Smith has not given up 1 inch in terms of time for the most part. Castro not able to close up the gap. If anything, these two have been trading lap times.
Yeah, pretty back and forth between first and second. Castro man to beat in the braking zone, a little bit smoother on corner exit. Starting to play with that throttle a little bit more now, trying to get the most out of it, as Talon Smith mentioned, you know, losing time on corner entry, but getting able to put the power down. And over the course of this race, it's been burning up his rears more and more, going to make it a little bit more unstable. That's allowed Castro to strike when the time is right.
Well done driving for the both of them so far, as this is a part of the racetrack where we see Castro really seem to gain He's just inches away from clipping that wall. That's how on point his markers have been so far in this race, and how much the top two are pushing the limits of the race trucks. It comes down to those matter of inches on the racing line at a track like this.
Now, when you look at 12 corners, if you lose a tenth a corner, you're talking about over a second deficit there. So both drivers doing a great job getting the most out of the race trucks. As last time by, as they cross the line here, quickest truck is Talon and Smith, the leader, by 0.02 of a second. So Talon able to hang on, but the question is for how long. As Castro is really starting to play with the throttle, we see him start to let the rear end hang out a little bit more in corner exit, able to pick up some speed, and I think he's going to be able to catch Talon Smith, get to the back bumper, and make a move before this race is over.
And again, don't sleep on Smith at all. When it comes to talent, it's not just as simple as, okay, hey, he's good in this truck, okay. He's been a driver in, say, the Winter iRacing NASCAR series, which is basically the 1987 cars, for reference, that runs on the various racetracks. When they went to Watkins Glen, he just about swept the week a couple weeks ago. That's how good Talon Smith is. Brian Smith, meanwhile, still battling for 7th.
Talon Smith has an almost 50% win percentage in road cars on iRacing. 129 starts in the sports car category and 63 wins. So that's a 48% win percentage. About 60% laps, then 62% top 5. So when he comes to a road course, he doesn't come to play around.
It's definitely fun for him with the talent, but still keeping an eye on Ascend by the other Smith in the field, Brian Smith. This is on Saldivar. Saldivar trying to keep the fight on to the inside, making it stick though, as both of them drift around. Someone's going to have to give, and it looks like it's going to be Brian Smith for the cross attempt.
I talk about Brian Smith coming to this as a bit of a road course ringer, been running the Maconi C Fixed Series all week, trying to get experience for this race, and have a great qualifying run, and paying the price, trying to work his way up through the field, trying to find some speed, gets in the back bumper low. Zaldivar for a split second there, both drivers able to hang on, keep it going straight. And I don't want to say look at the time, JP, but we have 3 laps to go.
This race has been flying on by as expected here. This race nearly at the 15-minute mark complete here from the Windy City. These two keeping themselves close. Castro losing a little bit of time, corner exit this time.
Try and do what you can. Make some magic happen, pull the rabbit out of the hat. Talon Smith, though, having the drive of his life, holding off. You mentioned the talent between both the drivers. Andre Castro, real life experience here in the Xfinity Series. I mean, it's hard to be a driver that has real life experience at a track such as Chicago Street Course, considering that Tony ran for 2 years.
Absolutely. And it's wild to think, too, just how much progress this track had, in part because of iRacing being able to have the track to be able to test out the various layouts during that 2020-2021 window. And now, in the past couple of years, have seen the racing come to fruition. And again, expecting that to be the same here in 2025. Less than 2 laps to go. Smith pulling the gap, starting to run away.
He turned on the nitro boosters, and he is trying to drive away from Andre Castro, doing a great job at it. Able to keep the front script, able to keep the rear script as well. Castro doing everything he can to make up time because he's running out of it through turn 3 and 4 on to South Columbus Drive, trying to make a sin maybe or 2 in the last lap, but he's got to be closer.
He needs a lot of mistakes from Smith right now if he wants to close up this gap fully. Gain only so much of the braking zones, especially that how comfortable that pink truck's been from start to finish, and how on point it's been this final sector of the racetrack with the distance to the walls. Coming up to the white flag this time by.
Talon Smith, pink is pretty fast, trying to hang on, building that gap bigger and bigger as they go around every corner. As Andre Castro hits the wall, bounces off of it into the wall again, trying to maximize the track usage here. Makes a mistake, now it might cost him the race and a chance for the win.
Pin pawn effect for the one truck. That's going to really cost him any chances right here as the white flag is out. Final time around from Chicago. And the gap is more than 1 second. Talon Smith just needs to avoid the walls and avoid lockups. Oh, some bumping and painting meanwhile. Some scraping with the 11. That's Freeman bowling his way up to a spot.
And Brian T. Smith has pulled away from this pack. Freeman trying to hang on. Still yet to receive the white flag. This pack 46 seconds behind their leader, Talon Smith.
Some of these drivers not afraid to get the elbows out at this point with how they've been driving this racetrack. But the other side of the track, it's been a lot more calmer up front. While the clouds may be settling in over the racetrack, Smith, he's been settled in since the drop of the green flag.
Now through turn 6 and 7 in East Baldo Drive for the final time. Now make around this half roundabout here through East Congra Plaza, and he can pretty much put it in cruise control from here.
One more run through the fountain. Dominant run for Smith, leading every single lap and being able to pull the distance in more than a second. In fact, he's just about within range of lapping somebody in Ricky Paz. But overall, Talon Smith showing why he's one of the better racers on the road courses when it comes to the stock cars. And when it comes to combinations like this, Talon Smith wins in Chicago.
Andre Cash, nothing he can do there. Gap at the line, 1.5 seconds. Coming across for third. Eli Carter, bit of a bobble, able to hang on, drifts across the line. Colin Brown in fourth as Chris Wet rounds out the top 5. 15 seconds back is Andrew J. Sharp, who's, I won't say Mr. Lonely, but he's got 20 seconds to the next car behind him, and Brian C. Smith, and then 15 seconds here to Chris West in front of him.
It's one of those with a league race actually right after this. This is his preparation. He's expected to be a favorite in one of those, but this pack's not done yet. More drifting for Brian Smith. Sandoval had a similar drift though. David Bush also in the train. And it looks like all the drivers going to stay in lockstep. Greg Freeman able to hold on and take 7th. That's over Brian Smith, Sandoval, David Bush, and Kirsanov amongst your top 11 drivers here. In the end, 15 drivers finishing on the lead lap. Not bad. These drivers all kept it clean and survived.
And Ricky Paz still going through the fountain, was about to get lapped with 4 seconds from and able to hang on. So pretty clean race for the most part. Not a race of attrition like we thought. No big ones. As Ricky Paz about spins out in the final set of corners, but bring it home, Ricky Paz.
So your last finisher will be the 15 truck. Been in good starting position, but had some slip and slides that dropped into the back. He just lets it coast. As we'll coast our way into a break. Post-race coverage coming up in just a moment. You're watching iRacing Maconi Entertainment for coverage on the Maconi Fixed Series.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage of the Maconi Fixed Series here from Chicago. It's time for some post-race coverage. Let's take a look at your official in-sim results from the Windy City first. Talon Smith puts on a dominating run. He wins by almost a second and a half over Andre Castro. Eli Carter rounds out the top 3. Colin Brown and Chris Wetz in the top 5 with Andrew Sharp, Greg Freeman, Brian Smith, Zach Zaldivar, and David Bush III in the top 10.
Yakov Kursanov there in that battle with Jeffrey Maconi comes out on top for 11th. Maconi finishes 12th as Haynes Ratcliffe finishes 3rd. Christopher Rodriguez survives to a 14th place finish. In a rare feat, Ricky Paz his last lap, actually slower than the leader's last lap. A minute, and I'm sorry, the overall time, a minute 40 off of Talon Smith, your leader, as Isaac Shelley and Jeremy Chisholm, your 2 DNFs for the night.
That's what John Spahn about your run. You're here tonight from iRacing's virtual Chicago Street Circuit. We do have your race winner standing by. Talon Smith coming away with the win tonight. And first things first, how are you feeling about the run? It seemed like you were near perfect tonight.
Yeah, man, that was one of the most fun road races I've had in a while. And Castro was just right on me for the first 9 laps, almost touched me every corner.
How tricky is it to master a track like this? I know you're strong on the road courses, but it takes a specific skill set in theory to be able to survive a track like this.
You know, I'm still trying to find out how to do that myself. I don't know how I didn't wreck on a straight course like this. It's amazing.
Well, on that note as well, just again, what's kind of been that mindset throughout a week like this to be able to try and pick up wins? I know you have a strong mindset when it comes to trying to get some sweeps in the big races.
I mean, yeah, I just put in a few laps, came here to win. That's all I did. I'm not really going for a championship or anything.
Simple as that. Congratulations once again on the win tonight.
Thank you.
Talon Smith keeping it simple and to the point this evening. Meanwhile, we do have 3rd place, Brayton Lasters with Eli Carter.
Eli started this race off with a bang, a deep dive, like a deep dish pizza on Colin Brown, and able to hang on to the 3rd spot throughout the whole race. But Colin Brown made you work for it.
Oh yeah, he did. He was on my rear bumper for about 4/10 until that move going down into turn 2, and then I was able to pull away. But he was a really good driver. He was able to stay close and keep me on my toes. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I think they're one of the few drivers that are using fun when referring to this race and track combination this week. Speaking of the track combinations, the first time the Maconi C Fixed Series has gone to the Chicago street course. Overall, how would you feel of the combination? How do you feel as a driver about that?
Personally, I like the road courses with these trucks. I think they're a lot of fun. Pretty much any of the NASCAR stuff. So I think it's a good fit for them. They're kind of small and nimble. They don't have too much power, but yeah, overall, I think it's a lot of fun. At least I enjoy it when I can. It's a good farming week for iRacing for sure.
A great farming week indeed, especially for that sports car category. Anybody want to thank him out to this 3rd place finish here tonight?
Yeah, I think my mom's watching right now, so I like to thank her for that. It's just fun to do these, and be on the broadcast is always nice. So thank you guys for doing this.
Of course. Well, thank you for taking time to speak with us, and sure we'll see you at COTA.
Oh yeah, you know it.
Awesome.
Eli Carter coming away 3rd. We also have Jeff Maconi standing alongside. Regular here for these broadcasts. Jeff finished in 12th. What was it like in the mid to backpack tonight?
It was a lot more competitive than I have seen so far this week. I can't remember the last time I fought so hard for 12th place, which is a lot more fun than I was expecting. I know I am not very good at all at road courses in general, with very few exceptions. I am not good at all at this track. And so I laid down my best lap of the week so far, which was like a 1:32.5 or something like that, which it's not great, but it's not terrible. And then that put me last of everyone that qualified. I think I got up to like 8th or 9th, and then I was racing really hard with Isaac, and he got into me in one corner, and then I got around him, and then I just overdrove the corner. I had to check up, and then we all sort of accordioned into each other. So I got damaged there, fell back to 12th, but it was definitely very, very competitive in this field. And so, like I said, I've never had that much of a fight to finish in 12th place, a minute back from the leader, but it was a lot of fun.
It looked a lot of fun in terms of the battling, absolutely, here. But overall, what is the biggest takeaway that you've learned from a race like this tonight, to be able to take into future races, potentially on the road courses, especially seeing a lot of the mistakes that you mentioned that you made yourself? A lot of your competitors in your grouping did have some slip-ups like that.
It definitely goes to show how competitive this series is. And it gives you a good idea of who you can trust to be near and run around, and who you need to give a little extra space to. And so what was nice is everyone I raced with really raced very respectfully, which I was surprised by, because there's so few passing zones here. You have to be so aggressive if you want to make a pass. But everyone was really, I feel, on top of their games, and it was one of the most respectful races while also being one of the most competitive ones. I cannot ask for a better group, and shout out to Talon for winning that over Andre. They're both phenomenal drivers, and I'm pretty sure they both broke the record for fastest lap this week. I have not seen any 128s at all, and they ran like 128.2s, both of them. It's crazy.
Well, on that note, once again, Jeff, congratulations on the run tonight. Thanks for the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for a great broadcast, guys. Good work as always.
Jeff Maconi running our post-race coverage, interviews like thank you, as well as Talon Smith and Eli Carter for the time to speak with us here on Maconi Entertainment. Next week's going to be a big one, and it's going to be one that actually, funnily enough, is fitting to Jeff Maconi's heart. It is Stafford Brayton.
It's going to be one of the more unique short tracks that these heavy C Fixed trucks go to. We were at 5 Flags a couple weeks ago, and a lot of drivers love to play the bump and run game. I think Stafford's going to be the same story.
And that broadcast window going to be on January 30th. That's going to be a 7:15 p.m. Eastern start for that coverage. Be sure to tune in for that one. But real quickly, Brayton, I have one more question for you. Your final thoughts on the racing here at Chicago tonight.
Overall, pretty clean race. We knew it was going to be a race of survival. Not a whole lot of major mistakes that cost drivers a whole lot of time. Andre Crasto did get the fastest lap at a 1:28.209, which I believe is going to be the track record leaving tonight for these cars at this track. So, happened right here on the broadcast.
Nicely done tonight, but it's time to say goodbye. I'd like to thank the race sponsor, Maconi Setup Shop, as well as our viewers for tuning in. Calling the action tonight was myself, Justin Burns, alongside Brayton Laster in the booth. TJ Lyon was producing. Thanks to our viewers for watching tonight's Racing Action, and we hope you stay tuned to all our social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.